Today we're investigating Egret Tours Marina. This is a possible settlement location, and it is in a rather dangerous position. It's near the Coast Guard Pier, full of super mutants. It's near Fallon's department store, full of super mutants, and Cutler Bay, full of Marlurks. You're nestled right in the middle. Go a little further west, you'll eventually reach the likes of the Glowing Sea, and go southeast and you'll get to Gunner's Plaza. So everything here is just trying to kill you. So let's not have that happen. So how do you unlock this settlement? Well, it's very easy. You just have to deal with the one inhabitant here, Phyllis Daily.
I don't know who you are, but you better clear out before I go haywire.
She has a rather sad story, which we'll read from the terminals on the... Watch out for mine. She has this place riddled with them. End of the pier, you'll find a Nuka-Cola Quantum. You'll also find a bomb, which will promptly send all of the lovely loot in every single direction. However,
hell yeah,
you could pick up the Wasteland Survival Guide here, which means you'll permanently heal 50% extra from irradiated food and drink. The bright side of radiation. It's a very strange buff, but hey, a buff is a buff. So we have a little shed over there we're going to have a look at. We have a much bigger shed over here. Again, novice door. And you could just skip it by going in here. If you have no plans on making it a settlement and you have no bobby pins for whatever reason, you could just do that. Another tripwire. Ah, grenade. There's lots of fishing rods, so be sure to pick them up. They've got gears. Gears are very useful. And one of the things that this place is lacking in its workshop, but not lacking when it comes to, you know, the abundance of fishing rods around here. Oh. So yeah, if you get onto the boat there, you'll be able to get that steamer trunk full of juicy loot. An easy way to get to it is just to jump from this side. And there you go. Not a bad collection. Seems someone was actually sleeping up here at some point. Now, if we go outside, we can have a little wander about. And if you go over here, you can even get up to the roof using this little staircase. Occasionally your provisioners... Ooh, yeah, watch out. Fall damage here could take you out. And you don't want to be that person who gets taken out by falling through the roof of your own building. Chem cooler up here might have some good loot for you. Before we head down to the little shed here. Also mine. There's just mines everywhere. So don't be like me and avoid them as best you can. Potted me, another... I have died a total of maybe 3 or 4 times in this episode if you take away the fact that I cannot dodge mines to save my life. Jumping right across, we'll go over to the building that Phyllis is currently placed in. She's got the workshop here. Again, you can't use it until you deal with her. She has several possibilities. Whether you deal with her, you know, politely, in which she stays and then eventually leaves and leaves a letter to you. You can persuade her to join the Minutemen, which is the only way that you sort of keep her here. Alternatively, you kill her and just take the settlement right away. Now, if you read her terminal and somehow get by her, you can read her personal logs and you can see what's going on here. Had to leave. I left the others 3 days ago. Had to get away. It wasn't safe for them. Wes tried to wake me up from one of the nightmares, that one where the metal rad roaches climb under my nails and scurry up through my skin into my brain. Before I knew what was going on, I had a gun to his throat. They tackled me before I could do it, but said it wasn't my fault. But the look they gave me when I said the looks they had when I said he was wearing my face told me it was time to leave. Nothing else for me there, and I don't want to hurt anyone else. The field. Can't sleep, more nightmares. I'm in the watchtower looking out over the field in the night. It's raining and I see a lantern in the field. Must be raiders in the corn. I sight down the scope and see one of those machine men. It was him by the wrist, dragging him off. If I take the shot, it's clean. The machine man falls to the ground. Running through the field to him, I can smell the corn and the rain when I get there. It's him on the ground bleeding and the machine is gone. I look back to the tower and see myself standing there looking down the scope. I dive into the corn as soon as the shot rings out and start to smell blood and oil. Reaching for the gun on the ground and the metal skeleton hand is in my own. If I look down the puddle of rain and blood and oil at my reflection, I see my face start to tear into shreds as my metal hands rip it away. Samuel, I tried again to end it. I was on the wharf trying to look out through the fueling station when I glanced at the water. He was there in the reflection, my grandson Samuel, and my arm was around him. Then there was a noise and my reflection's eyes glow red, and when it opened its mouth, there is static. Then static turns into a scream, and it puts the gun to Samuel's head and pulls the trigger. I can still feel some water in my lungs, but the program won't let me end it. My body climbed ashore on its own. Tour schedule. Hourly tours are available at 8 AM, running every 2 hours till 4 PM. Daily fishing tours are available. Corruption. And then you can't open the safe.
You are, but you better clear out before I go haywire and blast you.
So you can confront her, as I said, about that. Now, if you happen to just put her to sleep, you can now use the workshop. So let's have a look. In terms of scrapping, we get lots of cloth, we can get steel, there's some wood. We can see to what extent it stretches out. A wee bit up onto the hill. You do have the roof if you build up to it. It's not the highest build limit, but it's pretty generous. You can scrap the cars for some metal, get the wood from the nearby trees, and this is a fair bit of flat land. The enemies normally spawn from up here, and occasionally from up here. So, you have really only two directions to defend one from. Putting some turrets up here, and some up here, or even just a few here, should defend all angles. You don't need to worry too much about the seafront. There's no Mirelurks going to spawn to kill you, which I suppose for some is a comforting thought. Now, if we were to, let's say, remove the water here, we can get a better idea of the total area that you can build on. You can see all the trees that you can remove here. Heck, you can even start your settlement from here. Build a wee shack across. Or put foundations across the water. That could get you some flat land that you need. There's a bridge that's slightly elevated. Takes you over to the WRVR broadcast station. Little fun fact. This is a random spawn location, but what it has is the largest teddy bear in the game. If you lift him and drop him again, he'll turn to normal size. If you carry him, he will remain this giant teddy bear. Very cool indeed. In terms of other interesting locations, there's a little way station that you can visit, guarded by super mutants over yonder. Moving up to the train a little further, there's actually a sentry bot who's stuck in that little location there that you could visit. Coast Guard Pier is also a... It's dangerous, but worth the visit. There's also a little unmarked campsite just behind here. Some rad stags. So if you want to hunt for some meat, feel free to visit. Now, that concludes our beautiful Egret Tours Marina. Thank you for watching. See you all in the next one.